Hello, friends, and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be working one of our quick little projects that we got in our Common Thread Sewing Room subscription bag. The project I'm working is the tote pattern. This is a charm tote. You can find this on Moda's website. It's just called the Charm Tote pattern. We are doing a hashtag Moda Summer Charm. It's a quilt along, but this right here is not quilted. Not by what I can tell, it's not. The fabric requirements do not call for any stabilizer or any soft and stable. So I'm thinking this is just it looks like you could do that if you wanted to. And I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. So the first thing we have is our charm pack, and you'll take, let me see, 34 charm squares, and you will cut them. I've laid mine red, white, and blue. So we can, I'm going to do them in a red, white, and blue kind of theme because that is how the fabric is. So I'm actually going to start. We will be making 8 rows of 8. I'm starting at the blue and then going to the red. I have already pre-sewn 7 of my rows and put them together for you guys. So we weren't doing this all evening. If y'all are not aware, I have been sick since Monday. The struggle became very real Tuesday night, and it is now, I don't even know what today is, Thursday, I think. It is Thursday, and guys, it doesn't seem to be getting any better. But anyway, guys, I wanted to get in here and just get one done. Yeah, this is going to be my last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to end with a red. So this actually ends all, so I didn't need any more. How I'm doing this, I'm doing 4 sets of 2, and I have done each row individually. So friends, how are y'all doing? I'm just hopping in and sewing and telling you because I know I have a very short window here before I start coughing again. We're trying to beat it. But how are you all doing? I mean, we're having 70-degree weather right now here, and that's not helping any. I've had to miss work for 2 days, and they gave me some shots the day I went to the doctor Wednesday, and they gave me shots and an antibiotic that I needed to pick up. And guys, I'm telling you, this stuff makes me sleep most of the day. I mean, I'm trying to do stuff so I'm not so sedentary. It is a struggle. This is the extent of what I'm getting done right now because I can sit down. So I do 4 sets of 2s and then 2 sets of 4. And then once I get these done, I'll put them together to make a row of 8. But once we make this row of 8, we're going to sew and make this into a circle. I'm having to make sure I'm putting them together correctly. Okay, so this is going to give us our 8th row of 8. Now, once we get this done, I'm just holding mine up, and then I know this is the one right here, the red. That's the one I'm going to have to cut. And what we'll do once we put this in a circle, we will sew up. Go ahead and sew that in. Now, remember, we know it's the red. So what I do is I just lay this down on my table, and I cut it in half. So I lay it flat. I take my little ruler here and I measure out. We know this is a charm, so we know 2.5 is half of a charm. So I line up for that 2.5 and cut that. So then I have my strip here. I know this is going to be the top end or the beginning of it. So maybe that looks like the beginning to the end for y'all. And I'm going to press this real quick. And then we will attach it to the others to make our full panel. So now that I have this pressed out, I am putting it to the top. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I have to think here, how did I do these? This is my last one, so it has to go on the bottom. I don't know what I'm thinking here. I did put them together bottom to top, but this is my 8th row, so it goes on the bottom. So what we are doing now is getting these seams nested and pinned together. And had I thought about it, there is the state fabric. I should have tried to make that directional, but I didn't. Some of it's going the right, some of it's going up, some of it's going down, some of it's on its side, or it will be when the bag is put together. And guys, I'm just going to tell you, I've been trying to record for 3 hours, but I can't seem to get the cough to simmer down enough to record. But I just knew I couldn't get any further done without bringing y'all along to see this, because I know we were all so excited about these projects in that bag. And these are really, it's a really affordable bag, little subscription bag. And this is the sewing one. This is the sewing one that I'm doing right now. We do have a quilting one. Now, I imagine this one here, because it is part of Moda's Quilt Along, I imagine if you wanted to do this one quilted, you could. But I imagine it's not necessary. I mean, you don't have to. And at first, I will agree, it did kind of confuse me because it's part of the Moda's Summer Quilt Along. So you think, well, that's a quilt along. And it does say sandwich. So I may, even though it doesn't call for batting, I may sandwich it with a little batting so I can quilt this. Or I can leave it and just make it a little shop tote. I have to figure that out when I get closer to being done with it. We're just adding this 8th row onto the panel here. And if I don't watch out, I'm going to hit one of these pins really hard. And I'm going to break a needle. I've already had to replace the needle once. Because when I have a lot of pins like this and a lot of seams that have nested, I definitely do not want to lose my seam, but I also don't want to hit those pins. And I hit one right on earlier and just killed the needle. Okay, so I have these all sewn together. I'm going to press those and we will be right back. So now we have our full purse panel here. So let's see what our next step is. We have handle fabric, and this is our handle fabric, and this is our lining fabric. I have everything cut down. If you would like to do this bag and need the measurements, please go to Moda's website. I will try to link this pattern down in the description as well for you if you'd like to do that. Let's see what we have. Okay, so what this is our patchwork. I did skip a step. I need to actually trim these down to a particular length, and I haven't done that. I will be making 2 of these. These are going to be for the handles, so I am going to go on and cut these down to the size they need to be, because I will need to press them in half and then sew them together. So I will be right back after I press my handles and get them ready for sewing. Okay, I now have my 2 straps ready. Press it in half lengthwise. So I've pressed it, and now we're going to sew it. I'm doing everything at 1/4 of an inch. I have not seen where it tells me to do it any differently, so we are just going to do this, and I actually will get to use something that I purchased in a 12 Days of Christmas from Quilt and Stitch. That's another one of my local quilt shops. To make these straps, so that's pretty exciting. Now, I imagine if you wanted to, you could make these straps a little bit longer. If you wanted longer straps, I think these would be pretty decent straps, yeah. Well, to me, these will be a pretty decent size strap. Guys, I tell you what, I would have gone to work today, but I don't know what I have. They only ran a strep test, and I'm thinking, I was told that my daughter works at a doctor's office. She said there is a flu strain that is not showing up on the flu strips, that it's flu that people have. And she's afraid that's what I have because it's not showing up on anything. So I don't know what it is, but I know it wipes you out and you sleep a lot. And in your waking time, you're just drained. Like right now, it's after 11 p.m. But I feel I feel like I've got a fever. Okay, so the next, what I'm going to do, I'm thinking this is one of the things that you use to turn it. It is called a turning tube, and you use the blunt ball tip. Let me see which one is the blunt ball tip. Okay, I see it. Now, guys, this was the most expensive thing. It was $54. And yeah, I don't know why this hair wants to hang in my face today, but it is. It's hanging. It won't get out of my face. Okay, so I got them out. I'm going to go on and put this one down in this packet here. We get a little leather case to put it in. So I'm going on and putting that in the little leather case. I'm not exactly sure how we do this, but we're going to try. Okay, guys, I'm going to try something different. I'm putting all of the fabric on the tube. This may be where I messed up. Whoops, let me give it a little bit there. I am going to try to push this through. Keep that all on the tube there. See if I can push this through here. This may be where I messed up at. Very likely. Okay. Now that's a lot easier. I'm sure there's a video somewhere, but there should be instructions on all this. So I'm putting this in here. And I'm definitely putting this stiletto in here as well. because that thing is dangerous. So maybe that gets a better review, but let me get this pressed back out now. I need to press it and make it all pretty for our bag, so I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I have these pressed. Now, this does not say this in the instructions, but I'm going to do this. On the seam side of the strap, I am going to go in at 1/8 of an inch and just sew along the edge of that strap to hold that together. And I may also do it on the other side. I'm not real sure. But I know I'm going to do it on the seam side to keep it from puffing up. I probably will do it on the other side too. And this will also help with stretching. It'll keep it from stretching out. Okay, so now I'm going to take this other strap and do the same thing to it. Okay, so now I'm going to also do this on the other side, and my stitching is in this light gray. This is Orfil, so it's either dove gray or a light gray. I don't remember which one I have on my machine right now, but it is the big cone. So this is going, that means I'm going to have that light stitching where you can see it, which is fine by me. It's something I really like to have a strap that has a good finish on it. Because to me, a strap that's got a finish on it, it does keep it from stretching out, and it does hold its shape a lot better, even when you wash it. We're just going to go on and slide this second strap up under there. Get it started as well. And the foot that I have on my machine is the 37D. That's 1/4 and 1/8 foot. On the inside of the foot is 1/8 of an inch. On the outside is 1/4 of an inch. So now we have our straps finished. Now that's a step it didn't call for, but that's a step I do. So now our instructions tell us to take our patchwork rectangle and fold it right sides together. So we are right sides together. Now we are to pin and stitch at 1/2 inch. Now what I'm going to do, I do have seams that are going to nest here. So I'm going to nest these seams because I want the sides of my bag to come together as well. And that'll just give it a more uniform look. It doesn't say anything about that. And guys, once again, this is a free pattern out on Moda's website. Just, I will try to remember to put the link in my description so you can check it out if you're interested in it. I think this is a great little tote bag. So we are sewing this at the 1/2 inch mark. I'm not used to that 1/2 inch, y'all. I'm used to 5/8 or a 1/4 or an 1/8. But we're going to follow this 1/2 inch. Okay, that is one side down, and let's get to the next side. Okay, now I have my patchwork bag done. So what I have to do now is draw corners on here. Now this shouldn't be very hard to do because it's following one of the fabrics here. I should just use my rotary cutter and do this. That would probably make it a lot easier. And I will have to do this also with my lining. But we're getting our bag done first. And guys, I'm just going to use my rotary cutter. And I'll finish that last bit up with the scissors here. That just makes the job a little bit easier. So we have the bag part done. We have our handles done. And now we need to get our lining done. So we have to fold this right sides together. And we will sew this at a 1/2 inch, I believe. So what I'm going to do is press so I can make sure that I'm keeping everything even. So now it says to fold over 1/2 inch around the top edge of both the charm bag and lining. Charm bag fold inward and lining folding outward. Begin with the charm bag turned right side out and the lining turned wrong side out. Okay, well that's where we're at right now. We're going to turn it. I need to read all the instructions, guys. I really do. So our charm bag is going to turn inward 1/2 inch. Okay, friends, I missed a step. That step is we have to sew our corners. I cut it and I just completely, I guess, just bypassed it. But we need to sew our corners here. And it shows opening that stitch up, the center stitch. I am not going to do that. I am going to fold it to the side. I've got to get this lined up because my 2 inches did not do right. Even though I know I marked it and cut it. But we're going to sew this at, we're going to do it at a 1/4 inch. And then we're going to do it at an 1/8 inch. I'm going to pin the center here. And then just make it work. But we're going to get on this 1/4 inch here. And after we get this 1/4 inch, we're going to reinforce it with an 1/8 inch stitch. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Okay, and now we're going to go back with an 1/8 inch. And now we're going to go to the other side, and we will also have to do this with the lining. So what it does, since we have the lining, it will encase these edges. See how we have this pinned down? I will make sure that folds the same direction. Funny how I can miss a whole step. But that's what happens when I get in a hurry. That can happen. Now we're going to do the 1/8 of an inch reinforced stitch again on this one. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to do this on our liner. Okay, so we're doing this at 1/4 of an inch, and then we will come back and do it at 1/8 of an inch as well. Going to see if I can get that down there. Now on to the other side of our liner. Now I have clips on the liner here, but on the bag I have pinned. So I'm not real sure how that's going to work. I've done bags with liners before, but I don't recall how they worked out. Okay, so here we are, 1/4 of an inch again. Okay, so now we have all of our corners sewn. Yeah, wonder clips are going to come in very handy for this hair that keeps getting in my face. So, now let's see what we do. Okay, assembling this, we fold 1/2 an inch over around the top edge of both the charm and the lining. Our charm bag is turned right side out. I've already got that done. I've already pinned that 1/2 of an inch. So we are good with that. And I've already clamped. Now it says position ends of straps on opposite sides on the inside of the charm bag. So I have put them on the inside. And then it says we need to place lining inside the bag, the charm bag. So what I'm doing, I'm pressing my corners out here. So now I need, going to throw that out of my way. Oh, and I have so many pins in this, guys, I'm going to poke myself. Y'all know I poke myself. I'm going to fold this in and slide it in here. And then position it together to make sure we're lined up real well. I think we are. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have clips in the lining. I'm going to take the pins and pin the whole thing together. So guys, y'all stay with me. I'm going to speed y'all through this or edit it out because y'all don't have to see all this. I mean, who wants to? I know I don't. I know I wouldn't want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the edges. So I'll just kind of give you some pointers that I do. Starting with the edge here. We have a seam right here that we can actually nest. So I am going to do that. Now I have both of these folded at 1/2 an inch. So I'm doing that side seam, and then I'm going to do this other side seam and pin them together. And then I'll do around the rest of the bag and bring you guys back, and we will get to sewing on this. Okay, friends, I have the bag pinned all the way around. I'm trying to think of the best way to go about this, and I'm thinking it's going to be to lay this, even though my pins are on the top, that may be the best route to go. Nope, I'm going to pin it from the bottom, which means my pins are going to be on the wrong side of the fabric. But let's see, I think it says we do 1/4 of an inch first. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is do 1/4 of an inch. We're going to do 2/4 of an inch rows. And I did put a lot of pins in this, guys, so I'm going to have a lot of pin pulling I'm having to do. But that is A-okay with me. I would rather have a lot of pins to pull than to have this slide around. Because my goodness, we know that would be a mess, wouldn't it? So we're just going to keep rolling the bag around here, trying to keep that other strap out of the way. Keep us on that 1/4 of an inch. So we will do a second 1/4 of an inch stitch, but it's going to be away from the original stitch line. And here we're almost all the way around. So now what we are going to do is another stitch line. I'm going to trim these threads right here so we don't have them in the way. But now we don't have those pins in the way either. So now what I can do is put my foot on that stitch line and just go 1/4 of an inch from it. And this is going to stabilize that just a little bit better. Roll your bag as much as you need to keep your working area easy for you. We are almost back at the beginning of our bag. You know, I think I would rather sew the lining on the outside and flip it towards the inside. You know, that's just how I think I've done bags in the past. And actually, how it was done was your handle was put down and then the lining was slid up on top of it. So once it's done, you folded the lining in. That may be a way to adjust this pattern, maybe to make it easier, because it's easier to sew without having to measure that 1/2 inch. I think that would just have been easier. But this is still a good pattern. So now we are done, guys, with this bag. It does take a little bit to sew all of the charm strips together to make your, I can't recall what they call this, your patchwork. But guys, we got us a bag now. How about this? I'm making sure everything. But friends, I've got me a patchwork bag here. This is just kind of like a big shoulder bag. like a shopping bag. I've seen people that if you go to market or something and you buy produce and stuff, you could put it in this. Let me get my sides evened out here again. So that's a nice little tote bag. Not real heavy, easy to carry. If you're shopping, it will easily roll up in another bag. So, you could have this as like if you go on a trip or something, this could be an extra carry-on that you carry in your bag. How about that? So, friends, thank you so much for joining me to make this bag. I know it took me forever and my mind just didn't seem to be in it today, but we got us a bag. And I'm very happy about that. So please give me a thumbs up before you head out. Click that subscribe button if you have not yet, and that notification bell so you don't miss anything that we're doing here on the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.